But you put her up next to Barbie, and she looks fat. She does. She looks fat.
That's
She's
so
not.
sad.
But I think it's such an incredible thing that he's marketing this. He's also done some interesting things where he's put like real faces next to doll faces. And when you see them next to each other, you start to see that the real life thing is just so much prettier. You know, the same with his Barbie. I'll send you the pictures. Maybe you can post them.
I will.
The real life Barbie is actually much more pretty and much more feminine than Barbie as we know it. So I love this idea that he's doing this. So he's my woman crush just because I think it's going to have a huge positive influence on girls.
Women. Yes, and girls. Nice. You're so smart. Just... Of course you would bring a man into the Woman Crush of the Week and turn it to be awesome.
He does seem a little feminine.
No judgment.
I hope he doesn't listen to this because I might be way wrong.
Do you know
there.
him?
No.
Oh, why would he listen to... Oh, I mean, he totally could.
No, he actually makes the list of, the best, who's our heroes for, body image and everything. He makes that list. There's a few plus size models that make it, but he makes all of those lists because it's incredible what he's doing. I think it's awesome. A huge impact.
That is awesome.
And when it comes from a man, I sometimes think it has a little more bearing on how women see it.
Definitely.
When men say, yeah, we're not all about this perfection and this plastic, when men say that, I think women listen to it a little bit more.
Agreed. Agreed. Which is sad.
Right.
So, we're going to do Hollywood happenings. Now, if you've listened to Two Girls and a Bottle of Wine since Carrie started sitting in with me, you know that she has said that she is not a Hollywood happening type girl. So I have kind of kept this out of her podcast, but she has said on Facebook for the world to see that she is now a Hollywood happening type girl. So what you got?
To some degree. So I watch, sometimes, I just told you the story before we got on here about how I watch, I have a 60-inch TV, but I watch on my phone or on my Kindle.
Right.
If I watch shows on Prime on Kindle, it has the X-ray thing where you can pull up all the cast members. It shows you who's there right then. You can pull them up and it says, like, where they were born and what
like
else
their
they've
Wikipedia.
been in. Yeah, sort of.
Okay.
It's the
IMDb.
Yeah, something like that.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's that stuff. So I'm learning names.
Yay! So what? Any news?
No.
Okay, well, we're progressing.
Yes. I know names. I know, like, all of the actors and actresses on Sons of Anarchy.
Which is way better than me.
And
I'm not good with names.
I'm excited about this. I have no idea what's going on in their real lives.
Which is probably normal.
I do know their names now.
Progress. So I've got some Hollywood happenings to share with you.
Okay.
I'm going to start off with some sad news. You mentioned The Big Bang Theory. And they lost a cast member.
I did see that.
So sad.
I did see that.
I didn't even know her name. Like, I knew her character. But Carol Ann Susie, she passed away at the age of 62. So young.
Really young.
Yeah. Last Monday, November the 11th, she was battling terminal cancer. Cancer sucks. And she played the voice of Mrs. Wolowitz, Howard's mother.
Yeah.
So that's super sad.
It's very sad. And even though we never actually saw her, she was still a pretty...
Huge.
She was a key part of...
Huge. And you look at her and you don't see how that voice came out of that woman.
I know.
What the heck? Also in the Hollywood happenings, Taylor Swift took on Spotify, which I have been loving Spotify for the past several months, and now I feel guilty because they're not paying the artists what they need to be paying them.
See, that was some of my issue with Spotify. Plus, the reason I like to be surprised, I guess. And so it felt more like a playlist to me. And so I'm thinking I can do a playlist out of my iTunes. I have 10,000 songs in iTunes, so I can do playlists. I like Pandora because I discover new artists that way. So I just put in a whole bunch of shuffle, and I'll be at work, and I hear something come up. Oh, I like that. Who is that? And that's how I ended up with 10,000 songs in iTunes, because I listened to it on Pandora. I have to get that.
Right. And I did that on Spotify, but I would listen to a CD before I'd buy it on Spotify to see if it'd be worth it. And sometimes I wouldn't buy the CD because I heard it on Spotify. But she yanked her new CD, 1989, off of there. And I had been searching Spotify, waiting for it to be on there. Because I wanted to see if it was going to be worth it. And now I have to buy it.
See, I always wondered if Spotify was sort of like the file share, like Napster.
But I don't think it is. I think the facts that I found from my research is the CEO of Taylor's record label revealed that the company only received $496,044 over the last year for her music. It sounds like a lot, but payouts for a popular artist could exceed $6 million a year, especially since she is, you could probably say, the number one artist in the world right now. As of last week, Swift's latest album, 1989, which was released in October 27th to be specific, has made more than $1.68 million. So for her to only receive $496,000 last year for her music, it's kind of like,
That's interesting.
And she's created a trend. Other artists such as Justin Moore, Brantley Gilbert, and Jason Aldean have yanked their music off of Spotify. And that's just as of a few days ago. There might be more now.
That's interesting. See, and that was something that was a little bit. A few friends told me you should definitely get on Spotify and do like workout music, and I'm good. You know, when I have my phone, I'm working out. I have iTunes and I have tons of stuff. And as far as sitting at work, I like Pandora. But that was just I never investigated it, but it was something that I always worried about, just because we have the past of like Napster, and I just wondered, are the artists getting paid for it?
And that's a good thought. I didn't go through the Napster thing because I didn't have internet back then. I was in Missouri.
I had a child who destroyed 3 computers by doing Napster.
I destroyed one through LimeWire. Yeah, bad news. So when I first tried to sign up for Spotify, I was prompted to pay for it, and I'm like, no, I'll stick with my Pandora, my iHeartRadio, where I have minimal control, but I can still kind of choose.
Right.
But then when Spotify went free for your mobile devices, I was like, oh yeah, that's awesome. But now I feel guilty, and I stopped using Spotify because of Taylor Swift. Is that bad?
No, I think that makes sense.
Okay.
I think it's a good choice. You didn't know it before, now you know it, and so now it makes sense.
Yes. Cool. Miley Cyrus is dating again.
I didn't know she was not dating or anything. I wasn't quite sure she's old enough to date.
She is old enough.
Oh.
I think she's 21-ish.
Oh, okay, well,
almost 21.
She should date.
She's dating Patrick Schwarzenegger, though. Arnold's son. With Marie Shriver. That's a pairing.
How old is he?
I don't know. He's around the same age.
I think
He's a very beautiful kid.
I'm probably okay with this.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see.
I care.
I know, right? That's kind of... But I'm like, oh, she's dating someone.
I actually feel sorry for... we all do our stupid stuff. There's so much... there's been
stupid.
So much criticism of, Justin Bieber and Miley Cyrus and, just other children that grew up in the limelight. And I can't ever criticize them because we did stupid stuff, but we didn't have... The whole world didn't see it.
Right.
And we didn't have the money to do grand stupid stuff, but we did stupid stuff.
We probably could have done scissor. Because that's pretty cheap, and that's what Justin Bieber has been high on for the last 6 months.
we did stupid stuff. And
according to TMZ.
We didn't have everybody watching it and judging us. And so I watch some of the criticisms that take place on Facebook, and it's like, please let them be. They're kids.
And you don't see me really posting much. No. I think there was something... There was a Miley Cyrus something when she first came out and started acting kind of crazy, and I will admit... Oh, when she chopped her hair off. I was like, what just happened? Like, you went from Hannah Montana to Pink. I wasn't prepared for this. But now I'm adjusted.
It's probably fairly... of course, I don't know anything about being in celebrity limelight, but I'm guessing it's probably fairly confusing to come of age.
It's a reality we would never know.
Yeah, to come of age... in the celebrity limelight, and you kind of learn some degree of, I think you learn some degree of narcissism.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
So I like to just leave them be. Now, what I am criticizing, though, is what did Kim Kardashian do that made her famous?
I almost brought this up, and I was like, oh my gosh, last week, around this time, I was going through some traumatic experiences by looking at her posting. Oh my gosh, she hasn't done anything. Okay, she was Paris Hilton's friend, and then she had sex with Ray J, and there was filming involved, and then that got published. And then all of a sudden, Keeping Up with the Kardashians is now like our royalty.
So she made a sex tape and that made her famous.
Pretty much.
And you know what? This makes me so incredibly sad about, what does that say about us as people?
Agreed.
We're celebrate somebody who's accomplished nothing.
Nothing.
I mean, really
Lots
nothing.
of money.
Yeah.
They have makeup, they have clothes, the Kardashians. It's so very sad. It really is.
Yeah.
And then to show your that has got to be photoshopped. Her hiney and her full frontal. Leave something to the imagination.
Yeah.
I didn't see her sex tape. I didn't want to see her full frontal, but I did last week.
I honestly,
and now I have to go to
didn't
therapy.
see any of the pictures. I saw the making fun of.
Oh, where they turned it into like the coffee coming out of her rear and stuff like that.
And there was one, like one of my friends who is a very great guitarist. He did a picture. I mean, he's just a Facebook friend. I know him in person, but we're not like friends. He did one where his face was on there with the champagne thing.
And Ellen has done, mimicked it, so has...
Well, Ellen has mimicked lots of commercials, too, which are hilarious. Like, she photoshops herself into commercials. Mm-hmm. They're so funny. Have you seen her Photoshop herself into one of the Matthew McConaughey, the Lincoln commercials? Oh, my God, it is so hilarious.
I'm going to have to YouTube that one.
It's so hilarious.
I love him. But those commercials are weird.
I think they make me want to like rent a Lincoln and just say wandering things as I'm driving.
Here, friend, hold my iPhone 6 Plus and videotape me as I drive a Lincoln. I will subscribe to that on YouTube.
Weird things I do for entertainment.
Oh, well, you said you've skipped the gym for the last week because you've been sick.
I was sick,
but you're feeling better.
I am feeling better.
I found this next set of advice to be very helpful. Mm-hmm. I waste my time in the gym, obviously. My favorite thing to do is the elliptical.
I think a lot of people waste their time in the gym.
Do. It's so sad. Mm-hmm. So these are some ways to stop wasting your time. Mm-hmm. Ditch the leg extensions and replace them with squats. Mm-hmm. I've been telling Steve this forever. Because he loves all of those machines. And I'm like, I swear,
I don't do machines.
You could get the best workout in our basement and not have to pay the money.
Right.
Because you can stop doing crunches and replace them with planking. I hate planking.
It's hard as planking, too.
But that means that it's probably doing something.
I know.
I don't have the patience. Like I always set my timer and I'm like, 15 seconds in, I'm like, oh my God, it feels like an hour. I can't do it. I'm shaking and it's all mental. It's all mental.
I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Yes. Don't waste your time on the elliptical like I've been doing for the past 3 years. Instead, try walking on an incline, which I did this morning. I did. I don't know that it did anything.
It does.
You run on an incline, don't you?
No, I don't run on an incline. I mean, at the most, maybe 2%. I don't run. I hardly ever just do a straight run. Mm-hmm. I usually, I do a lot of interval stuff because it makes the time go by faster.
And it keeps your body guessing.
Yeah. So I'll vary between speeds of walking on incline at various, and I get on the treadmills that have the 30% incline. Ooh, so I can vary lots of incline levels and stuff. And then I'll put in sprints. And so then when I fell off the treadmill, I did fall off the treadmill.
I would fall off a 30% incline.
Yeah.
Mine only
No,
goes
that's
to
not where I
15.
fell off. I fell off because I can do some pretty fast sprints for now. I used to be my regular running speed was like 7.5 miles per hour. That was my straight running speed. Well, now those are like sprints, and and I'll build up a little bit. So I like to do speed sprints because it makes me it gets the high going.
Yeah.
So I like to do these speed sprints. Well, I thought I could get it up to 8.5 miles per hour. And I fell off.
Dang.
And this guy, he was so nice. He was next to me.
Did you have the safety thing on?